Hey there, Cosmic Warriors, and welcome back to another video. We're here for some live readings today. Hi, welcome everyone. So, if you're new here, my name is Hannah. I'm a Western Practical Astrologer, and today we are doing live readings. Hi, Danielle, welcome. Hello, Chelsea, as well. Yes, I got your email, your confirmation. So we have a few of you already in the queue. Exciting. Hello, Helena. Welcome. We're doing this on a Saturday as well. Thank you, Danielle. Yes, received successfully. Hello, Stacy. Welcome. Hello, Erica. Hi, all the way from Los Angeles. You're getting all of the sun, maybe. Are you getting all the sun? Is it nice there? A little bit jealous. No sunlight here, sadly. But yes, it's very grey here. Jason, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, Asha, as well. Welcome. So yes, we're here. We're going to do some lives today. And we've got first up, we have Tracy. Oh, Ashley is your name. My apologies, Asha. Ashley. So let me see here. We've got Tracy. We've got Jason. Danielle. And then we have Chelsea. And just to ask then, Ashley, so you said that you sent one through? Let me see. And the amount of readings we're going to be doing today, by 10. Do about 10 readings today. And then once we are fully booked up, I will... Ashley, yes, I have yours. I have yours. Thank you. Great. Okay. So just give me a quick moment and I will get everything. Yep. Thank you, Ashley, for booking. Hello, everyone. Good morning, Tracy. Hi. We're doing this on a Saturday. Saturn day. Let's see. And then if I go over here. Okay. Right. Just pulling up your details, Ashley. All right. How are we all doing today? Are you having a good Saturday? Yes, so the amount of readings I'm taking today is 10. So we have 5. We've got 5 booked. So another 5 is available for today's session. Da-da-da. Okay. And of course, these readings are a lot shorter than the readings that I usually offer. So you could say that it's like a sneak peek, if you will. Okay. By going to my website and booking with me on hannahselsewhere.com, you can book a reading and there's going to be a lot more detail. And yep. Okay. Actually, what I'm going to do for this session is I'm removing the asteroids and I'm removing a Lilith. I have included them in previous lives, but I'm going to remove them for this one. You can get a lot from the major, celestial bodies. Let's see. And this one. Okay. I'm just going to pull up your chart, Ashley. And if anybody else would like to book, it's usually better just getting everyone in at the beginning, but we'll see how it goes. We will see how it goes. Who knows? Maybe not as many people will join today for this one. Hello, hi, wholesome living. Hello, evolving love. Hi. Hello. Yes, so the instructions to book are down below. How are we doing? How are you today? Are you having a good Saturday so far? So here. Okay, just pulling up your chart, Ashley, so I can show it, if that's okay. Okay. Here we are. Right. So, you actually wanted to know about the North Node in Taurus in your 5th house, and then you have the South Node in Scorpio in the 11th house. And yeah, you were saying about how much there's just a lot of energy, compact energy in the 11th house. And what that then means when looking to the North Node in the 5th house. Okay, got it. Welcome everyone. Yes, we're reading charts live today. So I'm gonna have a look at your chart, Ashley. Okay. I'm just gonna look for a moment and see what I can find to begin with. Right, so what's jumping out at me for you, Ashley, is the fact that this Scorpio stellium is in the 11th, and your sun, especially being a part of this, closely conjunct Pluto, not to mention Mercury and Saturn are the same degree. They're the same degree, and your chart ruler is Saturn. Okay, you've got a Capricorn rising. So essentially, Mercury is also tied in with this Saturn influence. And then the South Node is pretty much on your Sun. And then the North Node, I mean, the orb is quite wide between the Moon and the North Node in the 5th house. But you do still have the Moon opposite here in Taurus. Okay, what we're noticing then is that there could just be so much energy being driven into the likes of your collective visions, thinking about how you interact within a group scenario, within a team situation. I mean, I can see this as you being highly, highly dedicated when it comes to work and when it comes to the role that you play within your profession. So when we think about especially the Sun and Saturn being tied to purpose and recognition as well, I just think that this can indicate that you have just this dedication, this determination, this discipline, right? And you may really appreciate these qualities about yourself. So for example, being the one within an organization, within a company, and it's you that's in charge, or it's you that's in a position of authority, and perhaps this company, what it requires, or what it involves, rather, what it involves is that of teaching, marketing, media, or perhaps thinking about leadership, management. And with the South Node being there, the thing about the South Node is it can look to our gifts and our talents as well. So what you actually may be really very good at is being able to direct other people, being able to manage groups of people, or knowing what isn't being understood or seen. The thing about Scorpio is Scorpio tends to dig beneath the surface and kind of find mysteries and hidden truths. So you could perhaps, with that Sun energy, it's like shining the light on what is hidden and then bringing what is hidden to the surface so that others can see this information and use it, right? To use it to their benefit, hopefully. But yeah, I feel like you have this highly analytical mind, right? Mercury's also there in Scorpio, where you can really break things down and see how things function and how they work. Sort of, I imagine Mercury and Scorpios sort of breaking apart a device and really seeing like what makes this device what it is and what does it require. So yeah, I think that you may really shine basically when it comes to these types of areas. But of course, with so much of that energy being on one side, it could be where you can go to extremes. So Scorpio can be a sign of extremes, especially with this Mercury energy and Saturn. It could be where you're so focused like on one point. And there could even be this likelihood of you overdoing it and being so fixated, right? Where maybe there's not very much harmony or balance for, let's go to North Node, pleasure, desire. Oh, and another thing, free time. Free time. The thing about this too, I want to say, Ashley, is most of your planets, well, I mean, I would say the majority, right? The majority of your planets are above the horizon. So when loads of planets are above the horizon, this can suggest, really being out there in public spaces and really being very much dedicated to one's career, to one's, in your case, perhaps hopes and wishes, and really, really, really wanting to achieve. And I think you should be proud of yourself for that. You know what I mean? Because I do see this as you work hard, right? I mean, unmatched. uh, I, you deserve all the praise that you get in this way. You really do. And then some. It's just that with the moon, of course, the moon is this emotional part of ourselves. It's this inner security. It's emotional connection as well, especially with a romantic partner, being the fifth house, or with children if you have children. Thinking about children and love and play, play. So I think the North Node is asking, perhaps, or pointing toward some play and pleasure and free time and being able to slow down, and to just take some time, for your own emotional needs and your emotional security and so on. Of course, Jupiter is going to start to conjunct your North Node and Moon within the next while. So I think Jupiter could, I think it could assist you with this, because I think with Jupiter, there's going to be a greater seeking quality to these parts that I bring up. Okay, so stop. Okay, let's see. Let's have a look. Okay, we have. Thank you so much, Ashley. Thank you for booking today. Thank you so much. Okay, we have 3 more. We've got Carol, we've got Irene, and we have Tamena. Tamena. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. So thank you so much for booking. So Ashley, and I'm just going to jot down the names and then we can go from there. So that means, we also have another. Hello, Jade. Thank you for booking. Let me just double check how many we have. Oh, excuse me. I just ate food. Okay, I have room for one more reading today. And also, can I just say, please make sure that when you book, make sure that you're putting your date of birth, your time of birth, and also your date of birth, your time of birth, and your place of birth. Sorry, I was reading something at the same time. I'm going to need that information as well. Thank you for booking, but let's see here. Let's see. Firstly, Chelsea. Is Chelsea here? Yes. So Danielle, so we've got Tracy next, and then Jason, and then you, Danielle. That is the order. Chelsea, I need, please, your date of birth, time of birth, and your place of birth for your reading. It's just to make sure that I have all the information I need. And, if any of you need to pop, move away or do whatever you need to do, the video will be here, okay? It's going to be here for after, so don't be worrying. Thank you so much, Chelsea. Okay, and then can I also please ask, is Carol in the audience, please? I'm going to need your time of birth and your place of birth, please, Carol. Yeah. Oh, where are you, Carol? Carol Ann, let me see. Yeah, got you. Got you securely. Let me see, did you put your time and place? Oh, thank you, Carol. Thank you. Okay. Okay, got it. Perfect. So that's Carol. We've got Irene. Okay. And then we have Tamena. Is Tamena in the audience, please? Are you there? So I can get... Yes. Got yours, Irene, successfully. Oh, Bay, yeah, Bay Short. Yeah, got yours. Thank you so much. Is Tamena in the audience at all? Because I need your time, place, and date of birth. I'm just scrolling up through comments to see if Tamena has said anything. Also, if just with your information, if anybody is not comfortable with the information being shown, I can cut the section at the top off. But yes, is Tamena here? And I'm also going to need information from Jade. Is Jade here? So there's one space left to book. There is the PayPal link in the description. You pay there. So there is the option of $25 for a 10-minute reading or $20 for a question. So you can ask a question. And the PayPal link is in the description, but make sure that you follow the instructions, okay? So you put the place, time, and date of birth in the PayPal section. But yes, I am looking for Jade, and I'm also looking for Tamena because you didn't give me your birth information. That's kind of important. You know, it's kind of important. Well, for now, I am going to pull up Tracy's chart. Yeah. So basically, if when you book a 10-minute reading, you can still, you can still say, oh, can you maybe focus on this area or that area? Whatever you can still sort of add something if you like. Yeah. I think actually, with the nodes, there is a big part of it. It's also about balance. That's what I was also trying to say. There's a significance surrounding balance. So being able to balance things a little bit, and instead of going to extremes. It's just about, I think when it comes to astrology in general, I think what can be helpful about it is, what is it, a holistic lifestyle, like being more consciously aware of, where things may be a little bit out of balance in your life and how you can bring things into greater harmony. Okay, so I'm going to move on then with Tracy's reading. Thank you so much. Thank you, Ashley, for booking today. I hope that you find it to be useful. Okay, so let's go. Okay. I think from here, I'm actually gonna close the selection of readings. Okay, so we'll go with 9 today. It's just, I want to try and move forward with Tracy's reading, and then it's just in case, during Tracy's reading, there's so many. And yeah, I want to be able to get everybody's reading done today. So I'm gonna edit this event and say that the readings are fully booked. You can contact me directly, Russia. Oh, there's a fly in my face. In my face. You can contact me directly by emailing me at hannahselsewhere@outlook.com. You said you booked, but you didn't put all the relevant info. So, did you book via PayPal? Hello, Juka. Hi. Welcome. We still don't have Taminka or Jade in the audience. Did you leave? Did you just leave? Will you be back? Oh. Okay, I'm gonna, let's see. Oh, thank you. Got you, Taminka. Thank you. Right. I'm putting in your information now. Thank you so much, Taminka. Awesome. Got you. We got you. Got there in the end. And is Jade in the audience? We need you, Jade. We need your birth information. Yeah. Okay. I am going to edit the event then. before we get into Tracy's chart. Sorry, Tracy, your chart is just sitting there. You know, it's for the world to see. Okay, let's see. Need to edit this. Okay. As we wait on Jade, I'm going to get into your chart then, Tracy. So I'm going to have a look. I am going to have a look at your chart a moment. Right. This is an interesting one. So you asked about career, Tracy. And you wanted to know in terms of what could you possibly do? You know, what would you be good at, right? And what really stood out to me about your chart is if you look here at the at the secondary progressed midheaven. So it's that green MC symbol over where the glyph of Virgo is. And the secondary progressed midheaven can actually tell us a lot about how our purpose and our career changes, okay? How things transition over time. And so the secondary progressed midheaven for you right now is at the very, very end of Leo. There. Plus, you're 34 years old, okay? And this then means that your 11th house is being activated for you throughout your 34th year, okay? So with you being 34, the 11th house is being activated. So with the 29th degree, the 29th degree is known as an anaretic degree. And this can actually indicate that there's some sort of apprehension. It's like I can feel that there's something coming, but I'm not sure. I don't know if I have what it takes. There can be all these strong emotions and feelings when it comes to the 29th degree. But there's also this part of it where it's like you're at the very end of that house or that sign. And it's this whole attitude of I've seen it all before, I've done it. So you're sort of coming to the end of this big sort of I would say more of a possibly corporate management time period. And perhaps as well, this is looking at you with that Leo energy and in the 11th being this leader when it comes to a particular company or group or organization. Okay. And possibly being like a creative director, that could be a potentiality with this, or being like a team leader or an advisor, or maybe being working quite closely within a creative field. But you see, with the sun being the ruler of the 11th, that's in Libra. It's also conjunct Mars in Libra, plus the ascendants in Libra there. We are noticing that you have so much energy to burn. And we are noticing that you can be quite a strong leader, perhaps somewhat more subtle when compared to other signs, right? You know, with Mars and Libra, you have this somewhat, I would say, elegant way of directing and guiding other people. You can be quite conscious of happenings, the goings on between others, and what is kind of socially acceptable and how you should sort of come across, etc. Then again, there can also be the part of you that, there can be the wanting to restore balance and making sure that things are fair. So the thing about the secondary progressive midheaven for you is it's going to move into Virgo. And that's going to take place June 2024. Now, the thing about this Virgo energy is that Mercury rules Virgo. So it's the ruler of your 12th. You actually have your natal Mercury in Virgo in the 12th. So it's home there, it's exalted there. Plus, this Mercury energy makes a lovely sextile to the midheaven in Cancer. So I think what could be on the horizon for you is that of working closely with patients, or maybe within hospitals, or thinking about healthcare, or thinking about how it is that you can assist others emotionally, how you can support them. We even want to add further to this, and we want to think about with Jupiter. So Jupiter is in Cancer, and Chiron's also there in the 10th. And this could very well suggest you being a mentor, right? A mentor, a powerful emotional teacher, especially toward those who have been wounded, right? Especially toward those who are in pain or they're suffering. So maybe the secondary progressive midheaven has more to add to the story, right? So thinking about the types of skills and talents and gifts that you have sort of accumulated within a particular role and how they can be utilized, how they can be put to good use through this Virgo energy. But yeah, I think there are themes of being of service and wanting to assist and help. But this also comes from a spiritual place, I think. Plus, when we look to the secondary progressions, so the secondary progressive Mercury is in Scorpio, along with this huge Scorpio stellium in the second house. My goodness, you fight tooth and nail for your survival. You have, Pluto in the second house in Scorpio, it can indicate that, you've really been through the intense sort of ups and downs and the renewals and the death and rebirths when it comes to your possessions, your earnings, your wealth, and so on. But all of those planets in that second house with the progressions, you've overcome a lot. That mixed in with the Saturn energy in Capricorn in the 4th, I think that you just have this inner resilience, this inner dedication, this inner discipline. But all of this is to say, Tracy, that I think the shift of the secondary progressive midheaven is going to show a lot. And the last thing I want to say for you, this Virgo season, so Virgo season 2024, okay, so that begins around the end of August until coming into the end of September. There is going to be a lunar eclipse in Pisces. So what's actually going to happen in 2024 is we're going to be introduced to a new set of eclipses. So that's going to happen in the 6th house for you. What's the 6th house? Work. Okay. Things are really going to be lit up for you then in this way when it comes to work. So I would say Virgo season mixed in with the movement of the secondary progressive midheaven. Yeah, there could be some significant changes up ahead. Not to mention there are already eclipses happening in your 1st and 7th houses, and 1st and 7th houses eclipses can be really very powerful when it comes to change of direction, life path, and so on. So things have been really shifting for you quite significantly over the past year. Okay. Let's see. Thank you so much, Tracy. That was yours. And let me see here. Okay, can I ask Rochelle? Or sorry, Jade. Oh, Jade, that's you. Okay, sorry. Right, okay, that's you. Oh, okay. I was getting mixed up with the names. Thank you. Right. Where are you? Where are you, Russia, Jade? Please let me know. Are you still there? Are you still there? Thank you so much, Tracy. Thank you. Good. I'm glad. I'm so glad. Let me know your place, time, and date of birth. Oh, here. It's there. It's there. It's there. It's there. The information's there. Thank you. Okay. See, yeah. Okay. So I just want to say, I did get someone else sent through. So, Sorera, we are fully booked. We are fully booked. I will take your one in this instance because I did have one already over. But just to say, like, from the title, we're fully booked for this session. Anybody else wants to book, just wait for the next call and we'll be back, We'll be back. But yes, let me see. I want to find Jade again. Jade, I need. Where are we? Oh yes, I got you. Okay. I've got you. Sorera. Is it Sorera? I do remember you. And can I just say, Jade, I need more information from you. Let's go here. Got Tamena. Yep. Jade, can you please let me know with PayPal? Can you let me know the second name that was put? Just to confirm, can you let me know the second name that was used for that PayPal? Perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay. And then, so perfect. Great. We've got everybody. Yay. Yay. Everybody's in. Thank you so much for booking, everyone. I really hope that you benefit from your reading. And also, just a quick question. So we're at 13th of July, is that right? I'm just not sure, what order you do it. Because I think, is it only in America that the month is on the left and then the date is on the right? So Tracy, that was yours. We're going to be moving on to Jason and then Danielle, and then we got Chelsea after. Okay. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Sorara. 13th of July. Oh, is the birth location in Germany? Is that right, Sarah? Sarah? Is it in Germany? Hello, everyone. Hello. Oh, so it's just America then? Nowhere else in the world does it that way? It's in Germany. Okay, thank you. Right. Yeah, we've got everybody. Happy days. Okay, so Jason, you are up. Let's see. Oh, yeah, you have a lot of Scorpio. Remember you said that in your entry, Jason? Yeah, that's a lot of Scorpio. Oh, wow. Whoa. It's very interesting. I mean, I just from sort of observing these lives from throughout the past 6 months or so, I've gotten a lot of people who have heavy Scorpio. Wonder if it's like if Scorpio energy really wants to dig deeper, you know, learn more about themselves, psychoanalyze this type of stuff. I'm pretty sure. Was it Sigmund Freud? Sigmund Freud had a Scorpio rising. Pretty sure with his moon in Taurus. Yeah. And then I think Carl Jung had Scorpio in the 10th, Scorpio midheaven. Anyway, let's look at yours, Jason. Pull up your chart. I know, it's interesting, Mark. It's like Scorpio can be so private. Yeah. I think it's almost like I don't know. I'll not go on because I want to get through these. There's so much more I could say. What is it? They're an enigma or they're paradoxical, I suppose. I suppose the sign of Scorpio has Aquarius in the 4th, and you can kind of see that paradoxical quality to Scorpio as a whole sign, as an archetype. But anyway, right, let's explore here, Jason. Let's get into yours. And I just need to remove Tracy's. Right. So, it's going to look at your chart. Okay. Let's see. So we're going to put the timer on then for you. Let's go. Okay, Jason. So what we see here is you have, of course, this massive Scorpio stellium, and the North Node is also part of this. of course, the South Node then is in Taurus. So let's try and begin by looking at the South Node in this way. So I think the South Node in Taurus here can indicate that what you're very comfortable with, what you're very familiar to, is that of really wanting to experience pleasurable, soothing, calming relationships. I would even argue with the secondary progressed moon being in Taurus right now for you, these things have been amplified. I think there's even a seeking quality to relationships and emotional security as well, because Jupiter is also transiting that seventh for you. And so perhaps this is looking at the strong desires that you have, right? To want to indulge, to want to feel really secure and safe with another or with others, right? Thinking about the seventh house through a lens of relationships. But then the other thing about this, of course, is all this Scorpio energy is in the first and the North Node is there. So in actuality, we're seeing here that things can be really very extreme, or like overly one way or the other. Maybe because with all that first house energy, it's largely about you putting yourself first or your own goals or working on your aims and your ambitions. But at the same time, we are kind of thinking here about how there has been such blow-ups and sudden changes that have occurred for you. Because Uranus is there. Uranus has been transiting your seventh house since 2018. And right now it is opposing Venus and also Jupiter. Venus is also retrograde, by the way. And then Jupiter too. And it's eventually going to start to oppose Pluto. We're noticing power struggles, power dynamics, okay? We're noticing the extremes when it comes to relationships, unconscious drives and motivations as well, and certain unresolved traumas perhaps coming to the surface too. Mercury's also retrograde there in your chart. So I feel like you're someone who you're continuously wanting to kind of seek answers to, why you are the way you are and why you do the things that you do. But I'm going to say this, but it could very well be that there's maybe too much of this happening, right? What I kind of see from this, and I say this with love and I say this with care, is I see just being so caught up in all of your own stuff, right? It's like consumed psychologically, emotionally, but that within itself can suggest that it's difficult to sort of see what is around you, to experience, the simple things, the simple pleasures. And I feel as if so much of the North Node energy, it's creating a bit of an imbalance here. Now, of course, you did say, because I recall within your entry form, about saying with like you love to write and read and you love to look into historical astrology and everything. And we can see these hobbies of yours show up through this Pisces Saturn energy, and also with Jupiter being the ruler of your fifth house, and that's in Scorpio. And I just see this as you being someone who, you really like to read deeply into things, right? You want to know why things are the way they are. And so maybe for you, it's about trying to kind of find a relationship where there can be a bit of healthy give and take in this way, where there is more time for your own sort of pleasures and desires, etc. But at the same time, considering that it is about how you see into the other. Now, it could also be here that perhaps you've seen too many things that you don't want to see. That could be the thing with all this Scorpio energy. It's like you can see just how destructive people can be, or when they show their true colors and everything. And maybe you've had to cut so many people out of your life and Mars as well being a part of this, making the squares to your Scorpio energy. It's like you've had to really protect yourself and fend for yourself. We're seeing this also with the moon being in Aries as well, and in conjunctions happening to the Scorpio energy. But here's the thing. Your sun's in Libra. And I think the sun here in the 12th, it's like you are like this hopeless romantic. I think you're yearning for close connection, right? Intimate connections. And do you know what? Maybe certain people just have not fit the bill, right? Maybe certain people have just you've had these expectations or these desires, these cravings, but people have just let you down constantly, right? Or you've seen the dark side of people. You've seen the way certain people can be whenever they don't get what they want, for example. But the point I'm trying to get to is that I think that there is a big, strong part of you that is craving that emotional depth. Okay. And I just see this as you being so close, like too close to your own fixations, like too close to your own obsessions or worries or concerns to do with life and to do with where you see yourself headed and to do with relationships and everything. So back to that kind of south node energy. And I know it's often said with the north node, it's like you move towards the north node, but again, I do see it also as balance. And to have this big stellium over here, it's like things are going like this, especially with you being a Libra. You need things to go a little bit more, okay? Just, to ease up a bit. And so maybe the secondary progress moon in Taurus over the next 2 years for you, especially with Jupiter as well coming along over the next few months, I think this can perhaps suggest some positivity and some hope and optimism, and just reconnecting perhaps with the simple pleasures, with the things that bring you joy, right? And I think even a part of it is to do with expanding your horizons, so to speak, when it comes to relating, when it comes to collaborating, right? And finding security in those more social spaces. And you could surprise yourself. You could certainly surprise yourself as Uranus continues to oppose all of that Scorpio energy for you, and things could very well just grow in ways that you never expected before. And the other thing with this is even the Pluto energy. So Pluto has entered Aquarius and it's going to transit your fourth house. Of course, Pluto is going to dip back into Capricorn from September until November. But that Pluto energy at the beginning, because we're going to have these activations coming up with Mercury and Venus and Mars throughout February, that could be quite significant for you emotionally, right? This could look at vulnerability. This could look at reinventing yourself when it comes to emotional depth and your emotional needs. And even I would suggest in this, finding that emotional connection through community. I think that this is a big part of this story for you. It's, I think your transformations, of course, Pluto is one of your chart rulers. Pluto there in Aquarius transiting your fourth is going to look at you rising like the phoenix when it comes to community and belonging and togetherness, and finding this. I think a big part of this journey for you will be finding security in those emotional spaces, maybe more so through a lens of like friendship and teamwork and everything. Of course, Chiron is in your 11th house, and the 11th house looks at friendships and groups and teams. And with Chiron there, it can suggest a wound, it can suggest a betrayal, it can suggest rejection. Really, I just see this as you regaining power, right? Regaining strength. And your moon in Aries, just want to say, that moon in Aries energy, it's so resilient. Moon in Aries is the type of energy where it's like when you get knocked down or when you face a setback, that moon in Aries, there's just something about it that there's a bit of a, oh, that sucks, but there's still okay, it's time to get back out there. It's time to keep fighting. It's time to keep moving forward. And I think that it's important to remember this. And just to finish this off, Jason, the North Node and Chiron are right there with the moon, and the North Node and Chiron are going to be conjunct at, I believe it's 16 degrees. That's going to be throughout February, so that's going to be right on your moon. So this could, pay attention, this could very well indicate such healing and much wisdom, wisdom to do with your emotional world and to do with your emotional security, and even how such things show up more so when it comes to your health and when it comes to work. Okay. Okay, Jason, so that was yours. Thank you so much. I hope that you find it to be useful. It's interesting. You said in your entry form as well about with being a server, and Virgo energy is very much that. Your secondary progressive midheaven is also in Virgo, so it's interesting to see that. Very interesting how it plays out. And I'm glad that you love the teamwork within work. Okay, Danielle, you're next. Okay. Just going to look at your chart for a moment. Okay. And by the way, folks, all the planets are direct now. Well, it depends on the time, I suppose, but Uranus stations direct today. So it means all the planets will be direct from today onwards until April. Okay. Okay. Capricorn. Yeah. Okay, Danielle, so I'm going to put on a timer. All right. Starting now. Right, Danielle. Interesting shifts coming up for you when we explore these transits. First and foremost, what is interesting is that over the past few months, Saturn started to join up with your secondary progress midheaven there. So Saturn in this position could very well indicate that you've really started to think about how things are structured, how things are set up when it comes to your career, when it comes to your profession. And maybe there's been much contemplation, right? Contemplation, seeking more, so going more within, trying to seek the answers, perhaps feeling somewhat unsure, uncertain, and maybe a bit like, what is the next step? What's the next path? What do I want? And perhaps trying to come at things from a more spiritual perspective, right? And the other thing to add to this is Pluto. So Pluto has just entered Aquarius and will be there until September. Pluto will move back into Capricorn in your ninth house from September until November. But Pluto, what is quite significant about this is it's right on your midheaven in Aquarius, along with your Saturn retrograde. So you have experienced your first Saturn return, and that was from 2020 until 2023. So I'm wondering, is it that your first Saturn return really brought to the forefront of your mind the importance of networking or teamwork, or finding a community of people, or wanting to show up within your company or within your organization in a way where there is greater dedication and integrity when it comes to groups, okay? When it comes to the whole group involvement and teams and so on. And maybe a big part of this is also tied in with the other part, what I was talking about with the Pisces energy. It's sort of like during your Saturn return, you were confronted by many mature lessons, or lessons that made you rethink the next step. And so with Pluto now joining up, well, it's at 0 degrees in midheaven. So it could be that throughout February, what's going to be strongly triggered within you are your feelings to do with your potential, to do with your ability to show up in a way where you're feeling confident and you're being seen, right? You're being recognized. The reason why I'm saying this is because this energy is opposing Chiron, and it's at 1 degree. So that Chiron energy, with Pluto opposite it, it could very well trigger a wound tied to recognition. And maybe such a trigger can actually be really very eye-opening for you. The thing about the Aquarius energy is like things could come in a flash. It's having like a flash of insight. It's having a strong realization about the future, about, what am I doing with my life? This is the next step, right? And so this could very well look like a whole, new path, a new direction when it comes to your career, for example. Or it could look at a transformation within it, right? So this could be where there's a certain foundation or a certain structure that collapses or changes in such an aggressive, jarring way. But then that within itself leads you along a new path, a different path. But maybe quite possibly there's hope with that, right? There is a newfound sense of self. There is an ability to heal, an ability to even identify old and reoccurring wounds, and then be able to overcome them, or to be able to learn from them, right? Where you can even pass on your wisdom and your knowledge with others, perhaps with family, perhaps with younger people, with loved ones, and so on. But yes, this could be where the structures and foundations, of course, Saturn energy, things start to really shift. But a lot of this, I think, will even lead to greater empowerment and resilience and strength, right? The thing about Pluto energy, it's like rising from the ashes. Now, I am not necessarily saying this is going to be quick or overnight, or, in February that things are just going to change like that. I mean, there could be trigger points, activation points throughout February. But I think as Pluto starts to move closer and closer to Saturn, and more 2024 or 2025, I think this is when we're really going to see significant changes for you here, especially with Pluto opposite the Sun throughout 2025. Coming into 2026, that could be quite a new experience of you reinventing yourself, especially when it comes to ego. Okay, when it comes to your individuality, when it comes to the things that bring you joy, when it comes to the things that make you feel good, that make you feel happy. We'll even see more of this story as Pluto opposes Jupiter, like 10, 15 years from now. But anyway, I just wanted to say that. Okay, also, the other thing to add with this, Uranus, right? So Uranus, of course, is one of the rulers of this 10th house for you. Uranus, it's direct. Like I said, all the planets are now direct. And it's going to start to conjunct your ascendant, and that's going to be around coming into, I'll check the dates after, but toward the end of the transit, basically. And so with that, I think what will really start to accelerate are these life path changes, right? And maybe you've already sort of recognized a lot of this stuff, right? Oh, and by the way, I just want to say, actually, Uranus and Jupiter are both going to conjunct at 21 degrees in April. So that's actually going to be quite close to your ascendant. So, well, yeah. So what I'm saying here is actually a lot sooner than what I was previously trying to say. So I think this could very well be like an unexpected opportunity to do with ambition and to do with your life path and thinking about money, thinking about your resources and how, things could very well change. And perhaps there's a new sense of hope or recognition or success in this way. Now, with that being said, do keep in mind that Pluto is opposite. So just going to say this as well, Danielle, Pluto opposite could very well indicate some sort of power struggle, right? Maybe this power struggle comes within a business partnership or like a business situation. This could be very well be where as there are new opportunities starting to unfold, at the same time, it's having to really consider what's in the contract, right? What's in the agreement? What are you, how do we say, what are you tying yourself into, right? What does it come with? Make sure that you are really reading the fine print and make sure that things are very, very clear, because that Pluto energy opposite can suggest some hidden information, okay? Just have your wits about you, if it is that there is some significant, work-related, financial related situation, even to do with your physical security, thinking about housing, property, and so on. That's the other thing. The fourth house can look at property. So Pluto opposite that fourth house for you. This is also where we notice the transformations to do with property and housing and your living situation. But you mix that in with the fact that Pluto does rule the seventh. This is also why I'm suggesting that it's important to make sure that you read closely any sort of contracts or agreements or deals or collaborations and what you're tying yourself into. Now, the other thing I want to mention is, okay, actually, there's a certain secondary progression that I'm looking to here, and another one that I see as well. So we see that the secondary progressive ascendant is now in Cancer. And we also, hold on, let me finish that point, okay? It's not quite in Cancer, it's coming, okay? So it's 29 degrees right now in Gemini, right? This point could be where this is a turning point for you, right? There's a turning point coming when it comes to your neighborhood. This could be you relocating. I'm just going to say this. This could be 2024 for you, Danielle. Is you moving house? Is you moving to a different location within your local area? And having relatives live with you, okay, stay with you for a certain period of time, Or this could be where you completely change how things are done, within the home, thinking about certain family traditions, etc. Or looking at interior design, this type of stuff, furniture. But at the same time, we're noticing the secondary regress Mars, which is going to move into, it already has, it's moved into Libra. So just to finish with that, I think this is going to create some new goal or direction when it comes to your work, right? And maybe more so focusing on greater life-work balance. So I could go on. I could, but it is now the time. It's been timed. Okay. That is yours. Danielle, thank you so much. I hope you find it to be helpful. All right. Chelsea. We're moving on to Chelsea. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Thank you for watching. I hope you're even enjoying. You are enjoying these readings. Oh, interesting, Danielle. So these things have been on your mind. Yeah, Danielle, I would say definitely keep an eye on those secondary progressions. Very, very interesting. When I saw those, I was like, what? Things are beginning, things are changing. All right. So Chelsea. Okay. Chelsea, are you there? Is Chelsea in the audience, please? Thank you so much, Danielle. I really, really hope you found it to be useful. Yay. Yeah, Chelsea, I'm just going through the comments to see, Chelsea, if you put in your question at all. Let's see. Did you put the question in anywhere? Oh, yes. Oh, got it. See, thank you. Well, Chelsea, you said that you had to go at that time. Your reading will be here. Okay, it will be here. Thank you for letting me know your question. Okay, so you want to know about children. Okay, let's have a look. I'm just checking to see if you put any more information, just to check. Okay, that's fine. Okay, just gonna have a look a moment. So I'm also just going to check another timing technique for you. Where are we? Yeah. Okay, so Chelsea, I understand that you're perhaps away, but this is going to be available for you when you return. It's going to be up. So, what has stood out to me, first of all, is the fact that that's okay, great, is the fact that the secondary progressed moon is in Cancer. And moon in Cancer energy can be quite maternal, okay? It can be the type of energy that, it's about being a caregiver, it's about being a nurturer. But here's the thing. With you being 30 years old, this means that the 7th house is activated for you as well. So the activation of the 7th house mixed with the secondary progressed moon, it further indicates this, I suppose, this desire, right? Because you were saying there about you want to know about children and you're thinking of having another soon. So such things could very well be on the horizon for you in this way, okay, throughout the year. And what I also want to mention with this is because your 7th house is being activated, this means it's really important to track the moon. What I'm going to suggest for you, because I'm not going to be able to, the moon moves so fast, and to go through every single phase and movement, I'm not going to get through it all. So what I'm going to recommend for you, Chelsea, is to maybe get a journal, get a book, and write down, the phases of the moon and keep track. And here's some potential sort of times to look out for. I'll do that. We'll go with that. I want to think about how Venus is in Leo, and Venus is the ruler of your 5th house. So the 5th house is the house of children. But you see, the 8th house is the house of conception. Okay? Both houses are tied to SEX. Okay? The 5th house is more about sexual expression and dating and romance and love and passion and fun and play, this type of stuff. But the 8th house is more about intimacy. Okay, this emotional bond, the emotional depth, and that commitment as well. So I think, and also the 8th house can look at our sexuality. It can show up, the sexuality can show up there. I'm just spelling out sex, just YouTube reasons. That's why I'm doing that. But anyway, Venus here in Leo, right? Leo rules children. Leo rules romance and this passionate desire, right? You have Venus in Leo is like, oh, the love you have is it's deep and it's intense, and there's so much passion here. Okay, so I think what would be a beneficial thing to do is to keep track of maybe when the moon is in Leo, okay, and how even that aligns possibly with your cycle. That's just an idea. Like, things may not align, so I could be saying that, and things may not align at all. Okay, I get it, but I still, I would still suggest with the moon entering Leo, especially with it, transiting your 8th house and then hitting off your Venus pretty much every month, that could be like a deep yearning, like this deep feeling. And maybe there are certain emotions that are going to come up of desire in this way. So yes, there could be some sensual and emotional changes that could come up. And what I also want to mention is that both Jupiter and, just one more thing. The moon transiting the 5th house could be another point. Okay. So basically, track the moon throughout the year for you and see how things change. And it may be, because the moon does move so fast, but just keep record and maybe that can help you, can assist you. But yeah, particularly thinking about the moon in Leo and the moon in Taurus, I think. Now, to add to what I was saying a moment ago, Jupiter and Uranus are both transiting your 5th house. So Jupiter is going to start to sextile the moon. Let me look at the degrees. It already is. Okay, so it already is. So I think, that this could very well suggest expansion, right? Jupiter looks at expansion and growth. So adding to things, they're increasing, right? Increasing. Wherever Jupiter is, Jupiter increases whatever it touches. It's kind of like, have you ever heard the story of the man who, when he touches things, it turns to gold? I can't remember the name. I'll maybe look it up later. But Jupiter's like, whenever Jupiter touches something, it increases, it expands. Okay. So this could very well be you actually having more children. And that Jupiter energy is going to form a stronger sextile to your secondary progress moon there. And the last thing I want to say about this, of course, I'm focusing a lot on like timing techniques and stuff, but the last thing I want to say about this is, because the 5th house can look at the types of children we have, and you already said that you've already had children, this Taurus energy in the 5th is like, it's so soothing and calming. Like you could have children who are really very gentle, and who are really into music, or they're very creative, quite artsy, perhaps very stubborn. They love their food. They love to eat. They take their time, okay? Really take their time. Plus sassy, right? I'm talking sassy children, right? Venus in Leo here. Yeah, could be quite fiery, and also performative, right? Putting on a show. It's like, look at me, I can dance, I can sing, I can do whatever. Yeah, you could very well have quite creative children. And even as a parent with your moon in Gemini, you may you may have just this way, Chelsea, of being able to just chat with your children and communicate, in a way where it's quite light and playful. I mean, you're playful at heart, right? You're young at heart. Okay, so that was yours, Chelsea. I hope that you benefited from that. Hold on a second. Why is this not letting me go? I need to minimize this. There we go. Okay. Okay, so Chelsea, that was yours. Hope that you get it okay when you're back. Right, so we're moving on to Carol. Hi, everyone. Welcome. Yeah, so we're fully booked for this session, but we'll be back. We'll be back another day. Okay, so Carol. Okay, so just getting information. Okay. And then all right. Carol. Okay. I'm just going to look at your chart a moment, Carol. Okay, ready to go. Okay, Carol. So what we're noticing here, first and foremost, is the fact that you have a Virgo rising. And then also you've got Moon in Gemini, along with a Gemini midheaven and Mars there in the 10th house, actually creating squares to this Virgo rising energy. Plus, the secondary progress Moon has entered Virgo and it will be there for the next 2.5 years. So let's try and break this down. What we're seeing here is that you're someone who is rather analytical and quite detailed, right? You prefer to be thorough in your approach to things. And also, you like to make sure that you have all of the correct information that you need before maybe putting yourself out there, before sharing, etc. And you may also prefer to break things down in practical ways so that you can understand them. And there can be a dissecting sort of quality as well, where you can be rather observant. You can sort of observe and analyze other people within your environment. And the other thing about this is Mercury is the chart ruler. So Mercury is in Libra, along with this Libra stellium in the second house. So I think that your ability to analyze and to break information down and to be practical is actually showing up through the ways in which you earn money. But at the same time, the ways in which you earn money are even related to you being fair, diplomatic, thinking about law and order, thinking about making good judgments. I mean, it could very well be that you work within the legal industry, right? That's a possibility. And being a legal advisor, for example, or perhaps what really draws you in is that of like art or creativity. Of course, Venus is there as well and is very much a part of this and is home in Libra. Venus even being somewhat home in the second house. So we could notice here that what you're very gifted at and skilled at is being able to relate or being able to sort of share information, to relay information in a way that is poetic or graceful or beautiful. And also making things look pleasing and appealing, right? Thinking about beauty or fashion, again, thinking about art, or possibly thinking here about real estate or property. But maybe there's also a lot of the kind of legal contract stuff involved within these areas, okay? But yeah, using your diplomatic mind when it comes to how you earn money, when it comes to your wealth, and maybe even seeing how things are when it comes to stocks, thinking about stocks and bonds, thinking about investments as well, just being able to kind of balance out or to weigh out what your options are, or to consider, okay, how much would you like to put in, or what is the exchange that you're going to get out of it, or get out of those types of matters. Now, like I said, you also have this Gemini energy going on in the 10th. And whilst the Gemini energy creates the square to the Virgo energy, it also creates the trine to the Libra energy. And your 10th house is being activated. So you are 33 years old, Carol. The 10th house is being activated. And so there is quite an emphasis and much attention and focus on that of your public position, okay? Being seen as intellectual and smart and witty, using your smarts, basically. I think that with you having so much Gemini energy, especially the midheaven, there's just something about you being able to convey a message, being able to convey information in a way where you're persuading other people, right? It's maybe about like sales or marketing or media or technology, that mixed in with the Libra energy could very well look at graphic design. Or perhaps there's something here about you selling products, right? Selling products to other people online. But you're going to be a leader. You're going to be someone in a position of command, or someone who is giving direction, because that Mars energy is like, okay, I'm going to lead the show, I'm going to run the show. Or it could be where you do collaborate to a great extent with other people, of course, with all the Libra energy. But at the same time, you have such a way about you of like, no, this is what I think we should do. This is the next step. This is part of the next plan. Like, let's go for this. Now, like I said, there is the square to the Virgo energy. And especially with the moon making the same degree to the ascendant, I think that this is what I think. I think that you can kind of make certain decisions, but then kind of go back a little bit and think, should I have said that, or should I have done that? Was that the correct thing? And there can be maybe a little bit of the paralysis analysis, that type of stuff, of like all the possibilities and all the things that could have been done, or all the issues that could have been solved in such a way. It could also be where you can be sort of caught between wanting things to be so matter of fact and to the book, to the T, like these are the facts and this is the information, and being really, really practical. But then there's another part of you, which I would say is a bigger part of you, because you've got Moon and Mars in Gemini, that just kind of goes like, enough of this. Let's just explore other options. Let's just wing it. Let's just go for it, right? I think you're someone who is willing to take risks, right? You're willing to sort of take risks when it comes to business. And this could be a year, right? 10th house activation, where you will be taking many risks, and you will be exploring alternatives, and you will be trying new things. And I think with you having a Gemini midheaven, it can often suggest that you like to sort of do two different things. It's like you could do one sort of position at day by day, and then another position at night. Or it could be where there's just so many different skills that you need within your role in order to keep going, in order to be successful within that role. Or it could be where you're constantly sort of like jumping between different positions, right? But the thing is that you may actually sort of enjoy that, right? You may actually get a lot from that, because what that highlights is mental stimulation. And then the midheaven is also making that the trine to Mercury as well. So that mental stimulation may be satisfied then. Now, the North Node is in Aquarius, creating this air grand trine as well. So with the North Node being in Aquarius in the position that it's in, I think that a big part of your services and your work and your everyday and your routines and your habits and everything, keep in mind that Virgo traditionally rules the 6th house in astrology, is that of innovation. Pluto has entered Aquarius and it will dip back into Capricorn for a couple of months this year, but from the end of the year, that'll be it for 20 years. So Pluto will eventually start to conjunct your North Node coming into, say, 2020, maybe the end of 2025, coming into 2026, maybe. Just, 2025 onwards, basically. Just pay attention to what really comes up, because there could be some change of direction here when it comes to work. And a lot of it has to do with reinventing yourself. A lot of it has to do with trying out different tools. This is the thing, just with Pluto and Aquarius in general. This is what we're going to notice as a society, as a collective. That's why it's important to keep up to date with generational planets. Things are going to move, right? Things are going to really move and shift toward the technological environment. And we are noticing this, right? But things, I think, are going to accelerate. And so maybe for you, Carol, this is going to show up quite a bit within your profession. Keep in mind that your 2nd, 6th, and 10th houses are all being activated by this energy, okay? All of them, because there'll be the trine between these houses. These houses are tied to career. They're tied to your profession. They're tied to your earnings. And they look at basically your job in this way. So I think you can expect these transformations and these renewals when it comes to these areas for you. And a lot of it, I feel, to do, when we think about the air element, a lot of it has to do with communication, networking, socializing, technology, media, exploring different ways of upskilling, keeping up with the current climate, being ahead of the curve, making sure that you can predict the future. That's another thing with North Node and Aquarius. It's like being able to predict the cycles that have been before and how that can help and assist with what is to come later on. That's so much of what astrology is about, but that can also play out within other rules. And maybe for you, because of the Libra energy, maybe for you, that's going to show up within finance. That could very well be the thing. Maybe for you, that's going to show up through fashion or art or beauty or creativity there. So that is the timer. That is yours, Carol. I hope you found it to be helpful. I hope I didn't jump around too much. Hope it was okay. Thank you so much. Okay. Hello, Edward. Hi. Welcome. And Carol, if you're not here, if you did not make it for this one particular, your reading is going to be here for when you get it. So Irene, let's move on to you. And thank you so much, Edward. Thank you for the tip. Thank you. And yes, I do. I've got a Virgo rising. Right. So Irene. Okay. AM. Yep. AM. AM. Okay. Okay. Okay, no problem, Carol. I hope work is going well for you, and I hope you benefit from your reading. Thank you so much for booking. Thank you so much to all of you who have booked today. Thank you. And yes, Irene. Okay, yeah, born pretty much at midnight, right? Okay, let's do this. I'm just gonna have a look at your chart. Interesting. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, I'm going to start the timer. Okay, so what I wanted to do for your reading today, Irene, is actually, you know what? I wanted to explore the fact that you have a night chart. And so the sun is below the horizon and it's in the fourth house. So the thing about having a night chart is that Saturn will create the most challenge. And Saturn is in Aquarius retrograde in the ninth house, opposite Chiron in the third house. Plus, you are experiencing a ninth house annual perfection. So the ninth house is being activated basically for you throughout so for you being 32. So what we're seeing here is that there seems to be some tension and struggle to do with communication and to do with the beliefs that you have surrounding communication. Now, this could also be perhaps some type of like a sensitive area, which if I am going too far into this, I hope that's okay. But just to keep it more sort of like, but a sensitive area to do with siblings, to do with your local neighborhood here. I mean, there's a lot of this Leo energy going on in the third house, right? And I think that this is highlighting you possibly relocating quite a bit or having to sort of move um for reasons that were really necessary and required if you were to feel somewhat happy and fulfilled. And I also think that there is a strong desire to want to connect and to want to relate, to feel like there's warmth, right? To feel like there is warmth and enjoyment and there is plenty of good things to experience when it comes to your local environment, your local area. And maybe there has been some type of like relocating in order to kind of find that space, if you will. But you see, I think this this Saturn activation with Pluto conjunct Saturn right now, opposite Chiron, maybe what's been coming up for you quite a bit lately is this whole notion of how am I being heard? How am I being listened to? What is my bigger message? What is my meaning? Where do I feel like I really, belong? And in that is security. In that is feeling safe. And in that is feeling respected. And your Saturn return, which was from 2022 until 2023. Now, with Saturn returns, I just want to say things are going to be a lot more potent. The actual dates or time period that Saturn does return to its natal position. So for you, it could have been, of course, around 2020 that things really did start to accelerate. And these questions to do with purpose and your higher meaning and where you belong and travel and relocating and all the rest, it could have very well been on the forefront of your mind. And maybe a lot of it was driven by community. A lot of it was driven by wanting to be a part of something that's bigger than you, like finding a purpose within a group of people or a certain club that you join, a certain movement that you're a part of, a party that you're a part of, perhaps thinking about like minds in terms of religious values or principles, or thinking about your spiritual views too, your philosophical views. So I think this ninth house activation for you throughout your 32nd year, I think that there's going to be a lot that's going to come up in terms of how you really feel surrounding acceptance and being seen and being heard, right? Really like feeling as if people respect your view and your opinion. And the reason also, why I'm saying that is because with Saturn creating more struggle, if you will, with having that night chart, well, Saturn is opposite Chiron, so that Chiron part of it can indicate rejections and wounds, but also having the ability to sort of mentor others, to want to give back to others. This could be another thing, you could very well be feeling just like you want to give back to society, you want to help out within your communities, you want to give to charity, you want to do charitable things for other people. It's like you want to, I think you have this thing about you, Irene, where you want to pay it forward, right? Because maybe you understand what it means to like struggle, what it means to have and experience all of these setbacks, especially, when it comes to um, this feeling of belonging. And so perhaps there is a big part of you that sort of can, you can empathize with the greater whole in this way. And the interesting thing about this is the moon is in Aries, right? It's in the 11th house. This moon in Aries energy in the 11th, it says, I see you because I've been where you've been. I can empathize with you because I felt those feelings myself. Moon is also trine Chiron as well, adding to this story, adding to how you can come from a place of inner knowing, or coming from a place of I can relate to you. And I think even with this, the important thing is being able to share your message. I think a lot of it comes back to that. It's to share your story, to share how you feel. And of course, the other thing with this is Gemini rising. You have a Gemini rising. The secondary progressed moon is in Gemini. It's got like another year or so, maybe over a year, in Gemini. And on top of that, Mercury, being the chart ruler, is retrograde in your chart in Leo. So what does this indicate? This indicates that growing up, especially, there was a lot of like hesitation or uncertainty about communicating, or maybe feeling like people didn't really understand you, or like maybe you were seen as, oh, you're showing off, or you're talking too much, or you're so over the top, or who do you think you are? These types of false sort of stories or narratives that were put on you. But the thing is that you have really started to grow in your power, to grow in your strength over the years, because that secondary progressed Mercury, it went direct, and things are really moving forward for you. Plus, Venus is retrograde as well, so that that Venus retrograde energy further adds to what I was saying. Even thinking about relationships that didn't go well, relationships where you thought, there's so much love and desire and everything here, but just things not necessarily aligning the way that you hoped, the way that you would have liked. But the thing is that with both Venus and Mercury, the secondary progressions of these being direct, it's like you are regaining your strength and regaining your power, and realizing that it is about you pouring into yourself, and it's about your self-love. It's about you exploring the things that bring you joy and the things that make you happy. Maybe being able to separate yourself from certain people, where there is tension and there is too much of a struggle and people can't be trusted very well in this way. And the other thing I want to say with this is that secondary progressed moon of Gemini, that's like, okay, it's also time to nurture your opinions and your thoughts. It's also time to feel like the environment. It's time to like regulate your emotions, maybe just being a bit cautious of like rationalizing too much, rationalizing your emotions away, or intellectualizing them away a little bit. But at the same time, seeing that there are certain like thoughts and messages that you can signal from your brain to help you through, and to support you in an emotional way. Now, I also want to mention that with you having this Virgo energy. Of course, you got the Sun in Virgo, Mars in Virgo in the fourth. The secondary progressive Mercury would have traveled through that fourth house for you. So I would say that for a good portion of your life, a lot of learning has been happening to do with your emotional well-being, your emotional needs. I think as well, this is about how much you can come from a place of health, like really considering your health and your well-being, and feeling good, like feeling good whenever you are able to pour into yourself in that way and make time for looking after your body, for example, making time for the tasks that you can get through and that you can achieve. Of course, Mars, even being in Virgo, that let me just finish that thought. It can suggest that you're someone who can be quite busy. You know, you like to keep yourself busy, you like to keep yourself on the move. We even see that further with the moon in Aries as well in combination. So what may actually help you feel somewhat good is that of, you know what, I know that I got such and such done today. I was able to achieve X, Y, and Z. And those, you know, those things don't necessarily have to be about like work or money, or, you know, it can also be about just moments where it's like, I did that. And it's small steps. It's about small steps when it comes to Virgo energy. Dedication, I would say. I think you're quite a dedicated person. Okay, so that was you, Irene. Thank you so much. Oh, just to finish it off for you, Irene, eclipses. There's eclipses going to happen from Virgo season. Pay attention, Virgo season, because Mercury is going to go retrograde in Virgo before Virgo season begins. And then it's going to retrograde back into Leo for a large portion. But because you have the Sun in Virgo, it's going to be quite close to your Sun. So keep that in mind. And then, like I said, there will be the lunar eclipse in Pisces in the 10th house for you. And that's going to happen around Virgo season too. So yeah. Change. 哦 wow. Well, Irene. Oh, interesting. Yeah, and a lot of those secondary progressions moved into your 5th house of children as well. Yep. Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you for booking today. Right, so we're going to move on to Taminka. See. And 34. Okay. So we've got Taminka, Jade, and then Sorera. You are final. So we've got 3 left. 3 people are left. Thank you for your patience this evening. It has been great. I really enjoyed doing these. But, if any of you are interested in a more in-depth reading, you can always book a reading with me by going to hannahselsewhere.com. Right, so I'm just going to take a moment to look through your chart, Taminka. Okay. Okay, ready. I'll do the timer. Okay, so first and foremost, right, what I find significant about your chart, Taminka, is we're going to go with looking at day-night charts, kind of experimenting with it at the moment, see how things are. But you have a night chart, okay? So the sun is below the horizon. And of course, with having a night chart, Saturn can indicate greater challenge in this way. So you've got Saturn in the 9th house in Cancer. It's retrograde, and there's also a bit, I would say, like a bit of an opposition going on slightly to the North Node. You could say that the orb is quite wide in that way. But still, I would say that this Saturn energy can indicate some type of struggle or these opposing forces, if you will, when it comes to your beliefs, right? When it comes to your meaning and thinking about how such matters are tied to family, tied to emotional connection, and thinking about how you were nurtured and how you were supported, especially whenever you were, growing up. Of course, I understand you're now 50 years old. And so this actually means that the 3rd house is being activated for you. So the house opposite where Saturn is. So maybe this year, your 50th year, it's really a big year of focusing on your values, right? You've got Venus even in Capricorn there. So your values to do with success, to do with what you really want to build and how you wish to grow on this more practical level, but also thinking about how it is that you support your own emotional well-being as well, or your mental well-being as well, should I say, because this is also the 3rd house to do with your mindset. So maybe what's been coming up quite a lot is like, what is it that you want to build? What is it that you want to improve upon here in terms of like what your values, your finances, thinking about purpose, thinking about career as well, possibly. These things may be very much on your mind. And the thing about this is, of course, the secondary progressed sun is at 29 degrees in Capricorn. So I would say for the past 30 years or so, I think that a lot of your career life or your working life, your profession, has involved you more so getting into like a routine. There's this consistency, there's this routine of, okay, this is the rule that I go to, and this is something that's done consistently over a long period of time. But maybe as the secondary progressed sun starts to move into Aquarius, this is going to happen sometime, I would say, either this year or perhaps within the next year, basically, because the sun moves 1 degree each year. and the secondary progressed sun does, but that is going to be in combination with Pluto. So there's something, I think, to do with how your living situation and how your family life is really going to shift and change, and even things are going to start to move and progress and change strongly with the Jupiter activation. Now, that's probably not going to be for a good few years, but still, there could be something about relocating. There could be something here about completely changing direction, and there's a strong sense of faith and belief in it. But you see, I think these matters are also somehow linked to this Saturn energy too. Now, you've already went through your first Saturn return. And the next one isn't going to be for a good few years yet, but still, I just think that this could very well look at like a major career move or a major shift in terms of training, so taking on like another program or wanting to educate yourself in a whole different way. And maybe such things can assist you in a way, especially when it comes to any restrictions or any limitations that you've experienced in the past. It could be that where things just start to feel somewhat more freeing, right? Because even with Jupiter there, so Pluto will start to move through that fourth house, and throughout this Pluto transit in Aquarius, yeah, this could very well look at major renewals to do with freedom and liberation and independence. Even the activations of Aquarius happening throughout February. There could be some activation points for you in terms of, where you want to live, where you want to where you want to grow, how you wish to expand with family members, how you wish to expand when it comes to community. Just so much about belonging and where you feel the most secure. Now, that is interesting because Saturn is in Cancer, and of course Saturn is in detriment. Yes, it's in detriment in Cancer. And that mixed with the fact that, Saturn does create a bit of a tension and a struggle for you. I think the family stuff, the emotional stuff, the living situation stuff, fourth house stuff, right? Because Cancer traditionally rules the fourth house in astrology. I think a lot of that is maybe going to indicate some type of renewal and something that's very unexpected and surprising. And you may even feel somewhat quite like safe and settled. And these are things that you may be really longing for or that you've hoped for. So yeah, there could be major shifts up ahead in this way for you, Taminka. But what I also want to mention then is, I talked briefly about that North Node energy in Sagittarius. So the North Node in Sagittarius is so much about you really considering what your beliefs are. What is your meaning and how are such things tied to the ways in which you earn money? How are they tied to your physical security? Even you've got the sun there in Sagittarius. Of course, your sun sign is Sagittarius. You've got Neptune as well. You could very well be just known for being highly giving and generous and charitable, hospitable to everyone around you. Known for just how adventurous you are, how honest you are, how loving you are, how much you're willing to really connect in this way with something that is bigger than yourself, right? Thinking about even certain religious beliefs and principles, keeping in mind your core values and everything. But of course, that Neptune energy can also suggest like a fog, right? Even the sun conjunct Neptune can suggest this unawareness over like your identity and how it is that you do see yourself and how you do show up in the world. It's like, what are people seeing about me? And I don't really relate. I don't really understand. But I think the North Node is maybe indicating that this is like a push, a leap into the unknown, right? A strong desire to want to just see what could happen, right? So this could very well indicate you taking a leap and having faith when it comes to a financial situation. This could even very well be where, of course, the South Node is in Gemini as well. This could be where you're so used to sort of sharing or combining resources with another, and there's more of that communicative piece there. But the North Node in Sagittarius is saying, well, what about something for you? What is it that you feel strongly called to do? And the other thing about it is the secondary progress ascendant and moon are in Sagittarius. So, yeah, this is also kind of why I feel like there's more to do with movement, relocating. There's more to do with wanting to expand your world view, wanting to really broaden your horizons, wanting to try something new. Maybe this could even be where with Pluto and Uranus in the position that they're in, considering as well Chiron. You're going through your Chiron return right now. You've got Mars opposite Uranus as well. To me, mixed in as well with the Taurus opposition to the Scorpio opposition energy. To me, it's like you're going through this like identity change, right? And it's like, where do I belong? What is my meaning? What do I want? There's just so much change, which is so completely different to what you have normally done, and maybe this whole idea of reinventing yourself is something that's even quite like it could be exciting, and it could be um it could push up, like it could push a part of you or trigger a part of you that's like, yes, finally, this is what I've been wanting for so long. But it could also be where it's like, oh, the unknown. Okay, what's beyond that? It's like, am I going to be okay? Like, am I going to survive? What's next? Okay, there can be that sort of what's next type of feeling, especially with the secondary progressed sun in Capricorn going to move into Aquarius. Yeah, I just think, especially Uranus and the way it is, and the Aries energy, the eclipses happening in these signs, there could be really like confronting, jarring changes that have happened when it comes to relationships. We even see that with the secondary progressed Mars and Taurus. But yeah, this there's more. There's more that we could explore, by breaking things down individually, Taminka. But I hope I was able to highlight like bigger picture themes. Yes, I hope so. Thank you so much. Thank you. I really hope that you benefited from it. And the other thing, Sagittarius, Capricorn. The other thing is with your third house being activated, pay attention to Saturn. So Saturn is in Pisces right now. It'll continue to be in Pisces. So that's going to be in your fifth house. So yeah, follow that path of Saturn throughout your fifth house as well, Taminka. So themes to do with like relationships and love and desire and pleasure and your individuality and self-expression, all those things I think are going to be really very strong. Okay, so let's now move on to Jade. see. Okay. Okay. Radio. Thank you so much, everyone. Jade. Just going to take a moment to look at your chart. Sorry, just give me a moment. 3, 7. Oh, okay. Okay. Got it. Yeah. All right, gonna start the timer for you, Jade. There we go. Okay, so first and foremost, Jade, what is standing out to me is, okay, so you have this night chart. And so this means that Saturn does create more challenge. And you've got Saturn retrograde in Taurus in the 10th house. Plus, you've got a Taurus midheaven. Okay, you have not went through your first Saturn return. Of course, Saturn is in Pisces right now and will transit your 8th house up until about 2026. So, what will really start to unfold as you start to come into your 30s is that there's going to be a lot to do with your career path and what you want out of life, thinking about your life's work, thinking about your life's mission, your purpose in this regard. Now, there could be that there is an opportunity that's sort of come up for you recently, because Jupiter is right there on your midheaven, and so perhaps there is like some type of new opportunity for growth, advanced learning, wanting to like gain more knowledge in this way as a way to help you with your skills and to kind of get better and to improve. Maybe then such a path or a professional direction is linked to that of banking, finance, investments, property, thinking about real estate in this way, considering music, art, creativity. There could even be all of these many ideas coming up and this sort of, well, what could be, all of these different avenues to explore, because Uranus is also transiting that 10th house for you, and it has been since 2018. So it's almost like there's just a whirlwind of, okay, this is changing and that's changing and this other thing's coming up, and which position, which role do I choose? Exploring alternatives, wanting to find something that really suits you, right? Thinking about your uniqueness in this way too, having to kind of be innovative and having to reinvent yourself. Now, the secondary progress midheaven there is at 29 degrees. And so things will start to move throughout 2024 for you as the secondary progress midheaven enters Gemini. So with that, there could be some potential shifts and changes, maybe more so looking at the likes of sales, marketing, trade, teaching, and so on. Now, this is where we want to consider the rulers of these placements. So Venus, you have Venus there in Virgo in the second house. So that Venus and Virgo energy can suggest that some of your skills involve the likes of creating order. So thinking about organization, thinking about filing, thinking about correcting things, considering how you need to sort of have a really good eye, like to be detailed, to make sure that things are correct. They're in their set plan. There is a certain system that must be followed. And I think this energy in combination with the Taurus can suggest consistency. Even the second regressed ascendant is there in Virgo too, adding to this. Plus, you've got the midheaven, which is making a trine to Mars and Capricorn in the 6th house. To me, what this implies is that you have such an ambitious quality to you when it comes to work. You have such a determination, a drive, strong drive to want to improve, to want to achieve, to want to succeed. And so that could very well be quite a beneficial thing for you, like being that driving force for you. Of course, Mars is exalted in Capricorn, but yeah, I just see this as you start to approach your Saturn return around your 30s, that Mars and Capricorn energy could very well be a big part of how you get there, right? And maybe what you really crave is that of being in a position of authority, being an expert, right? Being the one who has all the tools and utilizing your energy really, really well and in practical ways too. And being also a super supportive member of authority too. So thinking about people who work for you or work with you and so on. Now, the other thing I wanted to mention is with you being 24, the 1st house is being activated for you. So you've got a Leo rising, you've got the moon in Leo, you've got the North Node in Leo as well. So, oh my gosh, this is like just confident energy. It is self-assuring energy. It's the type of energy that goes, hey guys, like I've got this. You don't need to worry. You don't need to stress. I've got this. And coming across as somewhat respectful, right? It's like you command respect, and it's not where you need to push and shove to have that respect. It's just that you give off this radiance about you. And so maybe what will be beneficial for you to do, especially if we were to consider how the 1st house is being activated, and that's about life path, aims, ambitions, goals. There could be some significant changes there, especially with the North Node, okay? But what I would recommend to do is to follow the path of the sun, okay? Of course, your sun, your natal sun is in Scorpio. And oh my gosh, this further adds to this like determined, I've got this, disciplined, follow through energy, right? This is more fixed energy here. Now, there is a bit of a grand cross going on, okay? Because here's the thing. I hope I can finish this within the time frame, but here's the thing. The South Node is in Aquarius, and it's pretty much there with Uranus, okay? So Uranus is in Aquarius, and then Uranus is sort of part of this moon energy. There's opposition to the moon, and then there's also the square to Saturn, and then the square to the sun. So I think the 7th house opposition can indicate that there seems to be quite disruptive relationships here. There can be a lack of consistency actually when it comes to business deals and securing positions, when it comes to certain contracts that are being signed and things being agreed on. And because this is opposite this 1st house and the 1st house is being activated, things could very well get a little bit disrupted and chaotic. But here's the thing, grand crosses, especially with this being a fixed grand cross, I look at it as like, a table, right? So the table has 4 legs. And so what that means then is that it's up, it's strong, it's solid, right? It's secure, right? It's secure in its place. So this could very well be where this year, oh my gosh, especially because of the first house activation, you're really gonna have this fuel, this fire, this eagerness, this enthusiasm, this bravery, this courage to want to make things happen, right? To really want to dedicate yourself. and to be somewhat disciplined as well, and to not give up easily. And you could very, very well surprise yourself with your ability to like overcome obstacles, your ability to keep like really secure throughout the process. And that Leo moon energy, that you've just went through like a full moon. There was the full moon in Leo, right, which was actually quite close to your north node, actually, Jade. So that moon energy, that the inner part of you says, no, I've got this. Like I am confident in my abilities. And also I'm here to support my team. I'm here to support the people that need me here. And the other thing is that the South Node in Aquarius can indicate that you're actually quite good at being able to sort of get people together and being able to interact within the group, and more so involve yourself with like group activities. Maybe this could be where you're very like passionate about organizing certain group activities so that there is a sense of community and involvement there. Even with Pluto entering the seventh house for you, we could see certain transformations happening and unfolding for you when it comes to your relationships and business partnerships and so on. But yes, I think that the Leo energy really indicates that there's so much heart, there's so much warmth, and even that, excuse me, that in combination with the fact that like you've got your Mercury in Sagittarius as well, I just see this as you being, I'll just stop that. You being this person who can hype people up, right? You can be that person who shares that sort of positive spirit, that creative spirit, and you have this way of communicating where people do want to hear what you have to say because you're full of knowledge, you're full of opinions that come from a place of I really like I've really experienced this, right? There is that experience piece as well. Of course, Jupiter is even in the, in the ninth house in Aries. That Jupiter and Aries energy can even indicate that where you're gonna experience prosperity and success and fortune is by being a leader, is by perhaps mentoring or training other people, possibly like a coach, right? Like a coach in this way. Okay, so I'm gonna stop for you. Jade, that was yours. I hope that you find it. I hope that you find it to be helpful. And moving on to then, so Sawara, Sawara. We're going to get into it. I'm sorry for mispronouncing. I really hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Thank you. Thank you so much, Jade. Thank you. Right. It's in Germany. Let's see. Let me check. Okay. Excuse me. Thank you. Thank you so much, Jade. Right. Saw era. Let's do it. Just reading through your chart. Okay, I'm going to start the timer for you, Saw era. Let's go. All right. So, similar kind of thing that I've been doing with others here is I wanted to explore day versus night chart. So, you have a night chart. Okay, so the sun is below the horizon, and then Saturn would create more of the challenge for you. And you have Saturn there in Taurus in the fourth house. And then also, Uranus has recently conjunct that Saturn energy for you. So, what I'm going to say with this is you will not experience your Saturn return for a good few years. Okay, so around the time that you're 30. But I think there's going to be, or there has been, major lessons to do with the home. Okay, thinking about setbacks and restrictions and how they show up within a family setting. Thinking here about your physical security and how you're anchored within the home. And maybe this could be where, things have actually been really disrupted and challenged, especially throughout the past year to 2 years with Uranus on your Saturn. And things have just been happening that have been completely outside of your control. And that disruption may have been where you've had to relocate, or it's that you've had to really make serious decisions about certain family members, about your own sort of boundaries, about respect, and so on. This could even be where you grew up with a parent who was really like a hard disciplinarian or who was very authoritative in this regard. But I think what your Saturn return may start to, what it may start to sort of reveal are any repressed or buried emotions, and also anything to do with feelings of like lack or insecurity. Okay. And I think that with Saturn being in Taurus, a big part of the Saturn lesson is that of feeling valued. So feeling this inner security and knowing your worth. Okay. And that is coming from within. But then I would also say that this could very well look at you making a lot of effort and putting in work when it comes to, for example, property, when it comes to where you live, when it comes to actually feeling anchored and feeling secure within a certain location. Because the thing about that is that like our physical experience and our physical security can assist us, even when it comes to us feeling safe and secure within too. Jupiter in Taurus, you're actually experiencing a Jupiter return now. That Jupiter return, especially in 2023, that could have been such a big point, like a trigger point, an activation point of, okay, I'm moving, okay, I'm deciding to pack up all my stuff and leave. Or it's that you have sought out on like an explorative journey, right? Where it's like, I want to explore more of the world. I want to experience different cultures. I want to expand my worldview. I want to get to know different people. And I think this Jupiter in Taurus energy, it helps, I think, lighten up the Saturnian qualities, where perhaps you can see a bigger meaning, right? You can see, do you know what? This is the positive in this. Do you know what? This difficult thing, this challenging thing, also, in a way, yes, that was difficult and challenging, but now I'm here and these are the lessons I've learned. And this is how I can move forward with these lessons. And you know what? It could also be that you have been somewhat blessed, right? There's something about blessing, reward, gifts here because the Jupiter return, and maybe that comes through, well, knowing knowing yourself. Maybe that comes through that inner security and validating yourself, right? And what I further want to mention with this is this could very well look like you relocating for educational purposes, thinking about studying, thinking about university, higher education, this type of stuff. Now, what I also want to mention is that Jupiter is opposing Mars, and Mars is there in the 10th house. You've also got Chiron in Scorpio in the 10th house. So the opposition here to Mars can actually be it can suggest this struggle, right? It can suggest some type of discord. It can suggest this tension when it comes to your own sort of emotional needs versus what is expected of you, versus how it is that you show up within the world in terms of career and success and status. Now, don't get me wrong, I do think that Mars here in Scorpio suggests that there is self-control, right? Mars is home in Scorpio, and there is this strong will, this determination, this self-control, this self-mastery, right? Your ability to really like focus in on, okay, this is what I want to achieve, this is what I want to do, and you're going to be so like dedicated in this respect. But you see, it could also be where there's some power struggle, right? Where Scorpio is, it can suggest like a power struggle. It can suggest even like manipulative tactics. It can suggest the extremes as well, going to the extremes. So maybe what's also come up for you over the past year or so is like having to address any tensions between you, maybe between you and members of authority, possibly between you and certain parental figures as well, as another possibility in this. And considering, really what it is that's needing to be released. Any anger that's pent up, any rage that's pent up, it's like, how can you channel those emotions into something that's helpful and useful? How can you let them out in a way where you're led to greater success? Now, what I also want to mention about this is the fact that, well, let's go for the fact that, of course, there's so much more I could say, but the first house is being activated for you because this is your 24th year and you have an Aquarius rising. You've also got Uranus retrograde, which is right on the rise. It's pretty much right on the rising there. So let's just say this, Saw era, you march to the beat of your own drum, okay? You don't wait around for no one to tell you what to do, where to go, who to be with, who to be around. You don't. You are someone who you very much have an independent mind. And it's like the minute that you can sense that someone's trying to confine, control, contain you, you're like, no, you jet off. It's like you need your space. And maybe this has been a big kind of part of what this first house activation has been ushering in since the 13th of July. So thinking about your birthday there. Of course, things will move by the time July comes around, and then the second house will be activated and so on. But what I recommend doing then is, of course, we've got to think about Saturn. Saturn then is the traditional ruler of Aquarius, and Saturn is in Pisces. So with Saturn transiting that second house for you, I think this is really like growing up energy. This is maturity energy. This is like, okay, I need to set up my own bank account. Okay, I need to think about my finances. I need to think about where I'm living. I need to think about what I'm earning, the amount of money that I'm spending. I need to think about budgeting. Really having to be very, very like particular and very, very mature about all of those like survival needs, survival necessities in this regard. But of course, with this being in Pisces as well, I think there's also a lot of like emotional depth to this and healing as well. And perhaps too, there's with, of course, Neptune is also transiting that second house for you, and it has been since 2011. It's like trying to kind of find your way through the murky waters, trying to find your way through the fog, through the haze. Where is my direction? What is my path? What do I need? Maybe that Saturn part of it is actually indicating that there's some type of discipline that's needed. There's some type of responsibility that's needed. This could even be certain parental figures stepping in to help you out, to support you, to assist you, right? That could very well be a thing. I mean, Saturn is also making that trine to Mars there too. So there could be some assistance from members of authority, from your elders and so on and so forth. But still, I think that this year has been quite a big year for you in terms of your personal development, right? Because, well, this is the first house, right? This is the first house activation. This is the house of self. This is the house of your identity. This is the house of your life path and your aims and your goals and what you want out of life. So major sort of epiphanies and insights. But the thing is that Pluto has entered your first house as well, further adding to this, but adding to it in such a profound punch, like profound way, in a profound way where it packs a punch. That was what I was trying to say there. And the other thing about it is Pluto is opposing the moon. Also got Mercury there in Leo, and then the North Node, and then the South Node is also there. I'm going to say this. I think this can also suggest that this is you exploring unconscious motivations and drives to do with your strong, powerful, mighty emotions. Because, of course, the full moon happened, by the way, right on your moon. Just want to say that. That was a few days ago. But I digress. I think for you, then, what's really been coming up for you is that of having to address, okay, where am I holding myself back? What are my fears? What am I resisting in my life? How can I really step into my power and shine when it comes to how I show up in relationships? We even see this with the North Node in Leo as well. The South Node is in Aquarius. It's right there. It's next to Uranus. It's next to Uranus. So maybe it's like, this is also a year of you exploring what is outside of your comfort zone a little bit, okay? Stepping out into the unknown, into these unknown territories to do with how you include yourself within the group, okay? How you shine, how you stand out within the group. Confidence, self-assurance, all the rest of it. So, Era, I hope you found that to be helpful. Just one more thing, though. I know your sun is in Cancer, and you may prefer your comforts and to kind of where you are. Change, the unfamiliar can be quite daunting, but you've got this. Okay, so that was yours. So Era, that's everyone. That's us. We've done everyone. Oh, you got a new apartment. Wow. Oh my gosh. So there we go. That is everybody. Thank you so much. Hello, Adam, and thank you so much, Era, for your feedback, and thank you everyone for being here today. Thank you for all of your wonderful feedback. Thanks for letting me know. And that's us. That is us, everybody. Thank you for being here, and yeah. Thank you. Right, I'm going to get going. Have a lovely Saturday. Have a lovely, great rest of your day. I'm going to have some tea, I think, and probably have some chocolate and try and relax. Maybe watch a show. Maybe call my family. Anyway, have a good Saturday, and I will be back very soon with more live readings. Thank you for booking. Take care. I hope you find them to be helpful. Bye.